she knows where it is.
Do you think we need another picture?
No, we're good. I'll go get it.
Oh, Margie's got one, Paula. Is that good? Okay. Good morning, everyone. Today is September 8th, 2024. My name is Michelle Flores, and I will be your service leader today here at UF. We will start with our committee moments. Please be aware of the table here for our water communion. We've got some cups and stuff, so just be aware that the table's there. Try not to bump it.
Good morning, Margie with membership. Randall, who lives in Titusville, has been watching online, and he would love to come in person, but doesn't have transportation. So if there's anybody who might be able to give him a ride from Titusville, I know that's a stretch, but if so, see me and I'll hook you up with Randall. I will check with them. Okay. Okay, great. Hopefully so. Thank you. Gotcha. Okay. I brought bananas. They're in the back. I'm not the only one who grows fruit. Paula's brought for her, for the potluck today, a fruit salad with mango, banana, and pineapple, all from her yard. Ooh. So anyway, yay fruit season. Next week, I know it's been said before, but on Saturday at 2 o'clock, the new member party will be at my place. Bring your swimsuit or your boogie shoes or whatever you need to have fun. Kids are welcome, and so is the staff. I would love to see the staff there too. It's a snack potluck, so bring munchies to share. 2 o'clock.
Good morning, Laura Owens with marketing, and Kelly is going to come next. The marketing committee with Kelly, who is amazing, is working on organizing our volunteering at the Pride Parade, which is Saturday, October 19th. So we're starting early. Anybody who hasn't done it, please consider it. It's so much fun. It's so joyful and supportive, and especially in this state, we really need to come out. And there's a lot of corporations that support it too, which is really nice. So there is a sign-up table in the back. So if you're interested in participating, either being in the truck and not walking, or actually walking in the parade, which I did, which is so much fun, but it's all fun. There's a sign-up sheet. And also, there's a volunteer table, which I don't know if that's been filled already. Has it, the volunteer table? Okay. And there is a tie-dye t-shirt event where you can order a white t-shirt online. And then there's a tie-dye event, which is October 11th, where you bring that white t-shirt that you order through a QR code. And Kelly's going to be back there to help you all with this. It's very simple. Sign up and ordering the t-shirt. And then you have a tie-dye party where you can tie-dye your t-shirt and bring it out to show your unity. And we all have our own shirts together and look great. So if you have any questions, ask her.
Good morning, Kelly Buchanan from the Marketing Committee. I just do want to reiterate that we are having a tie-dye party here, and this is really in support of the theme this year for Pride Parade, which is the colors of courage, okay, which I thought was very, very special. And so we will be hosting a tie-dye party here. Now, just a couple of things. You don't have to purchase a t-shirt, okay, to come and tie-dye that shirt. You can actually bring a handkerchief. You can bring your white t-shirt. You can bring your socks. You can bring anything you want. The vision is that we're going to have the tie-dye tables outside, you know, because, you know, we don't want Derek to blow a fuse if we get something on the carpet. And so in the inside, we're going to be doing some friendship bracelets. We're going to be making some bracelets that we're going to be handing out at Pride or giving to each other. So it's really an event that all can participate in. It's just not for people who want to purchase a t-shirt. So again, we have some people from First Church that are going to be joining us. And so what we know it's early days, but if you are somewhat interested, let us know. And the reason that's important is so we can plan accordingly with food and, you know, just getting things set up. So that must save the date, October the 11th, that's Friday, from 6:30 to 8:30. Okay. Any questions, come and see me. Again, you can go and register online, but I made it really simple for you. We got a sheet back here. So come on back during potluck and sign up. Okay, thank you so much.
Yay, Kelly.
I'm Janet with Programs, and we are starting a new discussion group here at Triple U. And I've been getting some questions like, what exactly is this discussion group going to be like? And that is why we're having an organizational meeting next to discuss exactly what the discussion group is going to be like. And so at this meeting, we're going to start off by I and others are going to describe what Inquiring Minds used to be like pre-COVID when they met here. And we're going to see if we want to resurrect that or whether or not we want to tweak that model or do something slightly different. We're going to talk about themes, about how thematically focused you want it to be, or do we want it to be broadly themed? We were going to talk about the scheduling. We're going to talk about topics, all kinds of things. It's really, I want to hear what you want. And I want us all to figure out what we can do to make our lives slightly more interesting. So anyway, so we're going to be doing that. And if you are interested and you can come to the meeting, please let me know, because it will make a difference. If we have 3 people interested or 20 people interested, it will make a difference in how we organize it. So thank you. Oh, so yeah, and also next week, September 15th, after the service. That's when it is. Thank you.
Barry London. I spoke to you last week about the fact that we're looking to replace the plaque in the Memorial Garden, which honors those who have predeceased us. And I need to collect some dollars for this new plaque. I've had some success and invite anybody else that would like to contribute to please see me. And also, we may not have all the names of those who have predeceased us. And I have a list here, and anybody that, please look at that plaque. If there's a name that you can think of that isn't there that should be, please let me know. Thank you.
2 things. A women's group, we met on Friday, and we're going to meet again the first Friday of October, which I think is the 6th? 4th, thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you. And we were going to be making centerpieces for the Pride tie-dye party. So if you would like to come and participate, Lindsay is generously donating supplies for that, and we're going to make some pretty centerpieces for our party. Number 1. And number 2, if you purchase tickets for the inclusion sing-along, which was supposed to take place next Saturday, we have changed it because we have some new members that purchased tickets for the sing-along, and I'm sure they would like to go to Margie's party. So we changed it to the 21st. So if you are interested and you haven't bought tickets, that's the day it will be. It will be at Sarah Sullivan's house, and it's going to be a really good time, and it will be, there'll be food and music, and at 2:30. Yes, as Martha said, it would be a good way to relax after coming here and sweating at workday. So, yes. Oh, if you want to buy tickets, yes, please see Sarah. And And it's a good way to support our congregation.
Yes.
Hi, David McElroy. September 23rd, which is 2 weeks from tomorrow, it's a men's support group. If any of you have not, any of the men have not been there and want to know some information, I'm here today, can tell you about it. I may not be here next week, so if you can grab me, I'd appreciate it, if you want any information.
Also, as a reminder, we have a, more from the social event, we have lots of things going on, as you can tell, this month. One thing that I want to remind everybody about is September 22nd, after service, we will be having a baby shower here for 2 people that are welcoming new babies soon, so. My opening words this morning. So first of all, I want to remind us to maybe shut off our cell phones and devices or put them on silent if we haven't yet. My opening words this morning are from The Spirit of Water by Katie Gelfand, which can be found on the UUA.org. We gather in this season of reunion and renewal. We reunite to share the flow of our hearts with one another. We gather together in ritual to celebrate our fountains of joy, to hold each other through storms of grief, to guide one another through rapids of transformation, to rest together on ponds of stillness. Together, we honor the spirit of water, its many forms, and its life-giving essence. With that, I would like to welcome up for opening music. Yes.
Peace Like a River. This is a very catchy and well-known tune. I don't think we ever sung it here, but the choir has sung it, but I don't think a congregation has sung it, but you'll definitely pick it up. Each slide, you can, if you advance, Miguel, can you advance? Yeah. Each slide, we're going to sing twice. Okay, first verse twice, second verse twice, etc. Oh yeah, please rise. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. Thank you.
Beautiful. This morning, for our chalice lighting, we have Alice as our lighter. Her pronouns are she, her. She's 8 years old, and her joy today is that her teacher doesn't give her much homework. Yeah, that would be my joy too. Oh. Here we go. Please join me in saying the words, in the light of truth and the warmth of love, We gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. And join me in saying the words of our affirmation is the spirit of our church. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth and love, and to help one another. This morning, I want to welcome any guests that we have, all here and online. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. And for anyone that maybe this is your first time, today is a little bit different. This is one of our rituals, our water communion, where we welcome in new members. And I definitely want to encourage you to come back and give us a try a few times, because we are a lay-led congregation where we have different people from the community, from our congregation, come in and speak. So there's always something a little bit different. We talk about a wide variety of things. We have diverse beliefs, but shared principles. One of the things that we do here at our congregation is a time for joys and concerns, where we welcome people to come up and share the joys in their life, to share that with others, and also to share some of the concerns, because we know that when we share our burdens with others, they can help us carry that and make it a little lighter. So I'll invite you to come up.
My joy is I play basketball and I spilled myself.
Good morning, David McElroy. Yesterday was Marilyn and I's 39th wedding anniversary, but we've been together for 46 years. So Marilyn is today doing what she calls, I guess, a turnaround rehearsal for the female odd couple out in shoot. Thank you. Wherever she is, and it opens this Friday. It opens this Friday. And then, yeah. And my, I guess it's concern, my sister passed away 20 years ago today.
So I wasn't here last couple of weeks. I was up in New York visiting my dad for his 95th birthday. He is looking a little frail, so I don't know how many more birthdays we're going to have. So I'm really glad I got to go up there.
My joy is kind of a silly one, but I got a new hat. It's technically not new, actually. We found a hat in my garage, and I'm going to be wearing it a lot.
I'm Carrie Mitchell. It is birthday week in the Mitchell household. Kat turned 21 on Tuesday. Patrick turned more than 21 on Friday. And today I also am more than 21. So it's my birthday.
Hi, I'm Kat, and I have like a joy and a concern. I start clinicals this week, and I'll be watching cool x-ray stuff at a hospital, and I'm super excited but super nervous.
I have a concern. Tomorrow, early, I'll be flying up to New York to see my mother. My mother has been diagnosed with dementia. She was always an extremely difficult person for many reasons. And my sister has been doing all the heavy lifting, and I haven't seen her in 2 years. That kind of not an accident, actually. But I have promised to come up and help, and I have some trepidation, and just Gary said I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. So, for example, a lot of people with dementia will accuse the healthcare workers of stealing their stuff. Well, my mother does that, and she wants to get this person fired. I'm like, no, Mom, she hasn't stolen your jewelry, But then when she finds something, she accuses them of breaking back in our house and returning it. Anyway, so that I'm a little bit, not looking forward to the chaos, but anyway.
So I should also say that we had our 38th wedding anniversary last week.
Okay, so Joy, Paul had a birthday this week. Figured out we've been together half his life. It's kind of crazy. My concern is I've been back since the end of June. I lost my job coming down here, so I still haven't found a job, so please send me good vibes, or if you have any networking we can do, that'd be great. So.
Tell us what you're looking for.
I'm an engineer.
Good morning, Kelly Buchanan. Two joys, really. One is I adopted a dog, Miak and I. The name is Moose. A couple of weeks ago, I was distraught. I didn't know if I was going to be able to make it through the puppy training. But the good news is he's in obedience and agility training. It's been 4 weeks. He's housebroken. He's just wonderful. So I'm super excited about that. The second joy is I see a lot of new faces here today, and I just wanted to remind you, if you're new and you would like to sign up for our notable newsletter, we have a sign-up sheet in the back, and the notable newsletter really shares a lot of information, activities, events about what goes on here at Triple UF. So come and see me. We'll get you on the newsletter and get you connected. Thank you.
Hi. Instead of a joy today, I have a concern. My concern is that every day with my heavy backpack, I have to go up the stairs.
Hi, I have a joy and a concern today. My joy is that this is my first time here. I went to Susie, and I met quite a people that were there as well, that were from here. And it was a wonderful experience, and so thank you for having me. And then I have a concern that I don't know if it's really, I don't know, but I am in the middle of going through a divorce right now. So thank you for being here. Just the warmth that I'm feeling already so far is, I'm feeling that and it's helping me. So thank you so much. Oh, and my name is Drew.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and Joe and I are chasing the milestones that David and Marilyn and Janet and Gary, we had our 25th wedding anniversary.
My joy, and I won't get political, but I gotta say it because I'm pretty happy, is that a certain person is running, so that makes me very happy. So I'm just gonna say that. And that nobody's stolen my sign in my neighborhood, and I expected that.
Yes, I'm Harvey. Hey, just had a birthday. Yeah, that's it.
Hi, I'm Ellen, and my joy is my 24-year-old grandson, who's been living with me for 6 years, just graduated from college from Full Sail on Friday. So we're very excited for him to start his new chapter, but he is moving out, so I'm adjusting to living in my home by myself, for my living alone from the first time in my life. So yeah, so I'm adjusting. So we're very excited for Andre. He's moved back to where he grew up in San Francisco, and I've texted him like every 2 hours since he's left. So we're happy for Andre.
Hi, Alyssa. My joy is that I start a new side gig today, doing some political canvassing for a cause I really care about. And also, I'm doing some interviewing for a new main job, so putting good vibes out there.
With that, I invite everybody to take a moment of silence as we kind of let those joys and concerns, both spoken and unspoken. Thank you. All right, with that, we have time for all ages, which is going to be led by Reverend Kathy this morning. No, it's not. Nope, it's being led by Roberta. So sorry.
Hi, I was scheduled to do Time for All Ages several months ago, and I got a call recently. Can you do a water story? So luckily I was able to find one. Thank you. Okay, this is a story about the relationship between rock and water. So let's all use your imagination. Water spent most of her time running along streams and rivers and tossing in the ocean waves. Sometimes got into hurricane rages, but often was just pouring herself out as life-giving rain over the land. Now Rock spent most of his time standing perfectly still, doing nothing, just being heavy and hard. But he did provide the backbone for everything from mountains to molehills, and he was also used in castles, churches, and other beautiful structures. Now, rock and water couldn't be more different, but they did respect each other's differences, being equal parts of the world. But not all the time. Sometimes they compared themselves with each other, and they even tried to be like the other element, and they could be very jealous and envious of each other's strengths. Well, a long time ago, Rock thought of himself as so strong that nothing on earth could crack or break him. So how did he feel? Very upset and angry when water could just actually seep into the tiniest crevice, freeze, expand, and break him. Oh, I'm going to get even with her. It was just a few days later when water was happily flowing down one of her favorite rivers without a care in the world, looking forward to going out into the ocean, when all of a sudden she stopped. She couldn't go any further. Rock said, "I made a dam across the river so that you cannot move from here." "Oh, just because you're so happy standing still all day," said Water. "Why do you have to stop me?" "I'm a dam," said the rock, "and you have to stop here." So Water splashed helplessly against the dam. Now, Water was envious of the permanence of the castles and the churches and the other structures, because season after season, year after year, they were being used by people and they stood straight and tall. But you see, when the lake froze in the winter, man would come and cut big chunks of ice and make beautiful structures, and they would put lights in them, and they would just glitter. But people would come and they wouldn't stay long because they said it was too cold. And then, of course, when the seasons changed and it got warmer, the blocks of ice began to get soft and mushy, and eventually it was a lake again. So as you can see, sometimes with, oh, wait a minute, I forgot something. So I didn't really have a lot of time to learn this. Okay, so in the summertime, Rock did a wonderful thing. He made himself sand around the lake, and people came, and they relaxed on the beach. They had picnics and played games, and they splashed and swam in the water to cool off. So you can see that sometimes with patience and mutual understanding, they settled down together. They loved each other for their differences, equal but opposite. Rock would scatter himself as boulders and stepping stones, rocky beds, and many miles of Water's favorite rivers. Together they made rapids and shallows, circling pools and swift cascades, waterfalls and bubbling currents. She laughed all day, knowing of Rock's immobility, and but he did soften over the years. And thanks to Water, his stones became smooth, and the river, and he glittered in the sun. They were different, and sometimes they did drive each other crazy, but they knew they were the best of themselves when they worked together.
Thank you, Roberta. That's a beautiful story. Now is our time for interlude and offering for the months of August, September, and October. So this is September. I have to remind myself. I'm not just reminding you. We share 40% of our donations with an organization. So for this month, the organization is SALT, Service and Love Together, whose mission is to help those that are unhoused. So for interlude and offering music.
So we will be singing All of Us Are Loved. And the second verse is in Spanish, so I'll give you the translation. It is, no one is a stranger. No, sorry. Together through love, everyone is precious. No one is a stranger. No one lacks a bite to eat. No one lacks warmth. Every step in faith with virtue and joy, we are building a better world full of color like a flower.
Beautiful. So today, this is the time where we would normally sing out our children, but this is an intergenerational service, which means everybody stays in here and we all do this together. So with that, I would like to invite up Reverend Kathy.
All right. Good morning. It is wonderful to be here this morning. As you may or may not have heard, I have been asked to be with you for worship about once a month this year, which I'm delighted about. Thank you. I've also agreed to do a little consulting with the board and offering support to committees as needed. And I understand that when this was announced, there was some curiosity. which is quite natural. So I'd like to invite those who are interested to join me over lunch for conversation, and you can share your wonderings, and maybe I can shed a little light on things. So, it is no accident that the water service or water communion has become a tradition for the in-gathering services throughout Unitarian Universalism. As rivers flow to the sea to create something greater, so too our lives flow together to create something greater, our community. Of course, rivers run continuously. Our lives influence one another all year round. Still, as we look to a new program year within our congregations, it's good to remember our commitments to one another and to renew the bonds that create strong, healthy, vibrant communities. Water is life-giving, and so, I believe, is community. We need water for our survival, of course, but also for our health and happiness. Like water, human relationships nurture us and bring us joy. Just as the water can change the landscape that it flows through and smooth the edges of rocks, as we were just considering, and sometimes even glass. I love sea glass. Our interactions with one another can transform our lives, smooth our sharp edges, and help us shine. There is, of course, a downside to both water and human relationships. In Florida, in this season, we are well aware of the destructive power of water that comes to us in the form of hurricanes and floods. Similarly, there can be a destructive side to human interactions. Most of us have seen, and some of us have experienced, the harmful impact of unhealthy relationship. From the bully on the playground to jealousy and greed, as well as unbridled pride and misdirected anger, people can hurt one another. This is why I love this time of year, when we renew our covenants and our commitments to one another, when we pledge ourselves again and again to the creation of healthy communities, to imagine that we can do better. Throughout my time in congregational life, I have had occasion to see and to make plenty of missteps, actions that threaten to harm community, and it is through those experiences that I have grown and learned the power of a congregational culture that calls us back to covenant. Covenant is the set of promises that we make to one another about how we will be together as a community. Sometimes we state those promises explicitly, sometimes they're implied. Through covenant, I know what I can expect, and I know what is expected of me. When everything is going well, we can take covenant for granted. But covenant, crafted in good times, can be such a blessing in hard times. It's when I'm off balance, out of my element, not my best self, when my anger or my fear or my sadness has overridden my good sense. It is at these times that having a covenant within arm's reach or heart's reach is such a blessing. I once received a call from a congregation member who was mad about a term that another congregational leader had used in a newsletter. It was a congregation with a strong written covenant, and this person's angry words were, "This is against the covenant." I reached for a copy of the covenant, a copy of which I kept on my desk, and as I scanned it, I smiled. The covenant, which was admittedly a little lengthy, actually used the exact expression the caller was complaining about. I explained as gently as I could. "Oh," said the caller. Then we were able to talk about what was really bothering this person. I don't remember the specifics about what it was. What I do remember is noticing this almost weaponizing of the covenant, this use of our sacred promises in a way they were never intended to be used. Our covenants, our promises, our agreements are not weapons. They are invitations. They call us back to our best selves, to the healthiest forms of community. I know that I respond pretty badly to being scolded or shamed, but quite well to an invitation or a reminder that I can do better. I have come to believe that a commitment to creating and sustaining healthy congregations is a moral obligation. And I don't call out moral obligations lightly. It has become clear to me that healthy congregations can absorb unhealthy behavior on the parts of its members and grow in ways that make the community stronger. It can remind us of how to be our best selves. This is true for the little mistakes we all make and for more challenging situations. I once knew a small congregation that was recovering from some unhealthy behavior. A new person arrived and began acting in some ways that were truly community breaking. After a number of attempts to remedy the situation, the board made the difficult decision to ask the person to leave. I made 2 observations I found interesting. First, the members of the congregation first affirmed the board's decision and then asked the leadership to put processes in place that would reduce the chances that this would ever have to happen again. In other words, to become more intentional about covenant. The second thing I noticed was that the individual involved took their challenging behavior to another congregation in the area. The other congregation happened to be larger and healthier. And last I knew, they were doing very well there because the system mitigated the problem behaviors and invited the individual into community in more healthy and affirming ways. If we assert that human community can be life-giving and transformative, then it can be our joy to ensure that we organize ourselves in such a way that even those with difficulties can find a home with us. This year, our time of ingathering and renewal carries poignancy that comes from escalating issues swirling in the world around us. A contentious election highlights the breakdown of civil discourse. Questions about economic issues continue. Growing conversations about racism and injustice continue to challenge our hearts and look anew at the ways we create community. And meanwhile, issues related to climate change continue unabated. And so it is that these questions about how we will be human community seem more urgent and more demanding than ever. This is exactly the time we need to go deeper, to allow ourselves to be transformed, to lose our pointed edges, the ones we didn't even know we had, to ensure the blessing of community can be a gift for all. This is the moment when our hearts have been broken open and scattered into so many pieces, when the world has exposed the as yet untapped potential of human community. This is the moment when our choices matter most of all. As this community regathers for a new year, may you be renewed in your commitment to each other and to truly inclusive community. May your commitment overflow the boundaries of this gathering and flow into the world around you. May you participate in the repairing of the world. Together, may you be a blessing to all you encounter as you do your part to bend the arc of the universe toward a more peaceful, just, and sustainable future for all. Now, as our water communion this morning will follow a slightly different format than your water communion has in the past, a few words of context are in order. In the fall of 1980, a gathering of Unitarian Universalist women in East Lansing, Michigan, had an opening service for their weekend. A weekend of workshops, discussions, celebrations, and a joining of the water. One woman went forward with water she had collected from the Pacific Ocean, which was near her home. Another woman poured water from the Mississippi River, another from the Hudson Bay, and another from the Gulf of Mexico. From the many directions they had come, this water was gathered. With great ceremony and flourish, the fresh water and the salt water had come together in one large bowl. And so a ritual began, perhaps a uniquely Unitarian Universalist ritual. For today's service, we've adapted pieces from services used by past UU congregations, and I offer our thanks to those congregations and those ministers who've shared their contributions in evolving this tradition. In the 44 years since the first gathering, ones like this have happened all over the United States and Canada. Now, the appeal of the service called water communion in some places and water service in others, and gathering of water in others, is simple. Everyone can take part, and the act draws us to one of the most basic elements of life, water. Water is common, it is powerful, it connects us each to all. This is a plain ceremony. It says all can take part, all have something to contribute. This is a ritual that can only happen if you are willing to contribute, and everyone's contributions are welcome. Each splash of water makes the whole richer. Each journey recognizes our lives together. As rivers flow together to create the sea, so do our lives now come together to create this community. Now, we've all traveled this summer, no matter if our bodies have stayed. Other way? Okay, one more. Okay. We've all traveled this summer, no matter if our bodies have stayed here in Central Florida or if they've been hurled across the world in planes, trains, and cars. We've traveled in a variety of geographies. They're the geographies of places that we know, destinations east, north, south, and west. That's an easy geography to decipher, to understand and talk about. But there's another destination series of the heart and the spirit. As I describe these, consider if any of these speak to you or the meaning of the water you have this morning. New blessings, new beginnings blessedly upon us, places that feel like the east with the dawn rising. There are places of strength and energy that are like the south, with the full sun of the summer feeding them, giving them power. There are places of the spirit and heart that are like the time of harvest and journey's end. Places like the west as the brilliant sun slides beyond the horizon. And there are places in our heart that feel northern in feel and mood, the sense of winter, of wisdom, of gentle darkness in which we can rest and be renewed. Today we'll be joining the water that you've brought, and perhaps you've forgotten your water, or you're visiting, new among us and didn't know about this. Not to worry, we have symbolic water. It's just tap water, but you can make it whatever you need it to be today. After our time of meditation, we'll join the water from 4 groups, recognizing the 4 directions. There'll be a reading for each of the 4 directions, followed by an invitation to bring your water forward and pour it into our common bowl. Come forward when the time is right for you. Follow the geography of your heart or the physical world. A few stage logistics. I'd suggest, are you going to have that microphone? So I'd suggest that you come up the center and go around, and then if you want to speak a word or two, really short, there's a lot of you, say mom's retirement party, North Carolina, new job, that level of sharing, please. All are invited to join in. In this time, we welcome all the places that we've been, all the people that we've been, all the many experiences we've had. We celebrate the waters of birth. We embrace the tears that have been shed. We acknowledge the gentle, healing rains as well as the awesome power of hurricanes. It is water that connects us one to another. Will you join me in a spirit of meditation and reflection? In a sea of humanity, we live our lives. We are not isolated people. We are not alone. We are changed by those among us. Take a moment to shake out your wiggles. Take a deep breath. blow it out. Again, scrunch up your shoulders, let them drop, wiggle your toes, let them stop. Listen and imagine. Imagine that you are a piece of glass, broken, with sharp edges. Once you were a bottle. What kind of bottle were you? What did you used to be that you aren't anymore? Now you are a piece of glass, living in the ocean, tossed around by currents and waves, along the way having encounters with rocks and sea creatures. These encounters change you. They wear off your sharp edges. They make you smoother and more beautiful. How have you been changed by the encounters in your life? What sharp edges have you lost? In what ways are you more beautiful? Always we are changing. Whether you are a piece of glass still being formed or a human being still being formed, always we are changing. May the encounters of your life help your beauty truly shine. The first water that we pour into the bowl this morning is water from last year's water communion service. This is the water of the community that precedes the community gathering this morning. As the water that remains, it is a symbol of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship that was. Now let us turn our attention to the east.
This is the east. It begins with only the faintest glow, a whisper. It grows until it cannot be denied, the breaking dawn. This is the time of new beginning. This is the moment of birth. Every morning as awareness awakens, every spring as life returns. This is the gift of the east, the chance to begin again.
We call on the waters of the east, the waters of sunrise and fresh beginnings, the Atlantic Ocean and the waters of lakes and streams beyond. We call on the waters that have nourished young plants. We call on the waters of new green life. We call on the waters of courage and inspiration that allow us to begin again. We call on the waters of springtime and freshness. At this time, bring forward the waters of the east. Oh, that's good. Okay.
The pond by my home gives me pleasure, and the baby ducklings watched me as I scooped water out of Ponytail Palm Pond.
This water represents new beginnings of being planted here in Orlando, Florida.
My water represents a trip over to the Melbourne Beach area to watch the turtles nesting and hatchlings coming out. So new beginnings are those cute little hatchlings.
My water represented the family trip to Ireland that we did over the summer after I graduated with my AA from Seminole State.
New beginnings, the South China Sea, the Straits of Malacca, Singapore, my son's wife's new job.
New beginnings, my daughter Erin graduated from UCF, moved out of the house and moved west, actually, to Tampa. And she came to visit and left behind love and energy and some water.
My water represents like birth, like for plants to grow and animals that are hatching. We have a lot of tadpoles in our
Our water represents the Straits of Bali, which we crossed over in our trip to Indonesia.
My water represents my nephew joining me. He is starting a new job selling water systems. And he is with me, and we're just happy to be here.
My water is symbolically from a recent trip to New York. I had a Poland Springs bottle and it has disappeared. And it is representing new beginnings because I got to meet some friends who I've known for a while online only, who I finally got to meet in person during that trip.
Thank you. Now let us turn our attention to the south.
The brightness, the heat, the energy, the full sun of the day, the brightness of noon, the intensity of summer. This is the opportunity for full vision. This is the source of our strength. This is the time for commitment. This is the gift of the South, that we may know our full power.
We call forth the waters of the South, the waters of summer and fullness, from Lake Okeechobee, the Everglades, the Caribbean, the Amazon, the Arctic. Bring waters of power and tense energy that drive us forward, to help us grow, to fill us with light and life. Call on the waters of the heat of the day, the precious and often spare waters of summer and brown landscapes. We call on the waters that calm the parched mouth, that revive the burned spirits, that power us on. At this time, bring forward the waters of the South.
As a native Floridian and having witnessed many hurricanes, I can attest to the power of the South and its waters. I'm very thankful. I have well water for my home, and so I'm grateful to our aquifers.
We've been on our lakefront home now for 7.5 years, so this is water from Lake Marion.
Nice.
My water was going to be from the north to represent the waterfalls near the new condo I bought in North Georgia, which you all will be invited to at some point. But I've gone instead with the south because I'm remembering Pat Wichter, one of my favorite folk singers, and his steel guitar, and love is the power that wears down the rock. And we need a lot of that power and strength and love right now as we head into this election season.
Again.
Our water, usually we go away to Pennsylvania in the summer, and so I almost got up for the East. But we got to experience our first full Florida summer. So that's water from our CCRC where we live.
Thank you. My water represents the watershed where I have been born, where the Atlantic meets the Rio de la Plata in Argentina. So that is south, south, south. And it represents the strength and energy and power that all need on difficult times. And I would like to dedicate these waters to those that are going through rough times and need all of that. So from my heart to everybody.
All right, my water represents the strength that I need to go up and down the stairs every single day at my school 6 times a day. So I need that strength bad.
I went to that school.
And now let us turn our attention to the west.
The sun sinks beyond the horizon in a glorious blaze of color, a montage of all that has been. The setting sun, the cool of the evening, the turning season, the autumn harvest. This is the time for reflection, for contemplation, for retirement, for review. This is the gift of the West, that way that we may honor and recognize the fullness of life.
We call on the waters of the West, waters of harvest and sunset, waters of Tampa Bay, the Gulf of Mexico, the Pacific Ocean. Bring the sweat of harvest time, the waters of times of completion. Bring the cooling waters of autumn, rust-colored and peaceful. At this time, bring forward the waters of the West.
Thank you. This is for Lorraine, Bernadette, Judy, and Peter. We got to see in the West. And it was journeys in from Sedona to the Grand Canyon, which was overwhelming, to Idlewild, California, which was like up in the mountains, and to Los Angeles. And it was a wonderful trip, and we enjoyed it.
Hi, this is water from Dewey Creek in Skagway. It was the end of my Alaskan journey and a wonderful time reuniting with my brother and my sister-in-law.
And now let us direct our attention to the north.
In the darkness of the night, in the coolness of the winter, we take time for rest and renewal. This time for rest, for sleep, for hibernation, this chance to be restored and refreshed, nourishes us, prepares us for the mystery and unknowing that life will bring. This is the gift of the North, that we may be rejuvenated for the onward journey.
Bring the waters of the north, the waters of winter, of rest and renewal, waters of quiet and peacefulness, waters of the grace of the world. Bring the waters of the Great Lakes and from the Arctic Ocean. Bring the waters of time, of preparation, of becoming ready for that which comes further along. Bring the waters of night, of rest. Bring the waters of peace that come without bidding, the peace that touches our hearts and renews our spirits. At this time, bring forward the waters of the north.
This water is from the New River, Radford, Virginia. And I got to go to Susie for the first time since COVID. So that was pretty special. But I'm also thinking about, it's beautiful water and tasty. But there are so many people in the world still who don't have drinkable water. and it's a daily struggle for them.
This is water from a lily and frog pond in our backyard, perched above which is a lovely little statue of the Buddha meditating. So this is very appropriate for me in terms of wisdom and gentle darkness, healing, rest, and nurture. That's why I do what I do with the meditation. So that's what this water is about.
This water represents the North. It's a family visit, visiting my brother and sister-in-law and my sisters. It also, for me, really is a time of rest, renewal, nurturing, and peace. So that's, and I'm following the mantra from last service, may I be happy and may I find peace.
Hi, everybody online. I made it today. So this is North for wisdom and healing to try and figure out, oh, I want to get sick.
They want to hear you online.
To try and figure out what's wrong, but that's it.
This is water from my tap, and this is a Grey Poupon jar. It represents healing. A lot of healing needed to go into this past year. My son, my husband in the nursing home, just me trying to get through all that. So, yeah, thank God for the healing and the support. And thank God for water.
Indeed.
My water came from Champaign, Illinois. John and I went up in May for Christopher's college graduation. So he has 5 years of wisdom now that he didn't have before he arrived. So, and right now he's kind of taking a break, so he's resting.
So my water is representative of Radford. I was returning there this year. It was really good. And from my aunt's creek when I was up in New York with my daddy.
This water represents a road trip that I went on with my 80-year-old mother up north to Greensboro, North Carolina, where we actually spent some time with my aunt and cousin. So this is family water. Thank you.
This water also represents Radford and Susie, but mostly it was the whitewater rafting, which was just fantastic and made me rest a little bit.
I'm honored to share our online water this morning. Happy and John Amin wish to share that they had 3 incredible experiences with water over the summer: Puget Sound whale watching and exploring communities around it, night kayaking in Indian River Lagoon to see bioluminescence, and Vermont Lake Bomazine, cool, fresh, and mesmerizing. Sounds wonderful. And Steve Hall, whom we don't get to see here much, but we love to see you online. The floating inflatable lounge and the comforting clear water of my Capistrano condo pool helps me to unwind, relax, get healthy sunshine and vitamin D. I think we could have an adult afternoon swimming or something. That sounds really inviting, Steve. And one more from the Kahn family, Marissa Kahn. The Kahn family water represents the Caribbean Sea and celebrates connecting with our family over the summer and connection overall. So thank you all for participating this morning.
The Ottawa River.
This represents my being from the north, New Jersey and New York, and I'm such a northeasterner, and the wisdom from my stepmother who loves the water and loves the ocean more than anybody in the world, and how much wisdom I've gained from her and strength.
This is from Great Smoky Mountain National Park, one of 5 national parks that Patrick and I went to on his sabbatical this summer, and the one that Kat and Colton were able to go with us to.
I got 2 more from the Zoom room crew. Chloe McElroy, my water represents my sister moving in with me, and my partner Alyssa moving in with me too. 2 shared waters together in the condo, who we have affectionately named Claude Slitherpuff Place. And then one more from Luisa Rodriguez Scott. My water represents the Niagara Falls, where I visited last year. This can be considered northeast water.
This water is represent the water in my pool.
I may take the farthest north water. I'm from Alaska, and the community up there is a lot different than down there, and I have to say that's probably what has shaped me the most. And if I had known about this, I would have brought my Alaska water. All of it contains a little bit of gold, though.
Ah,
But
nice.
It would have been fun to bring.
This closing meditation for the water ceremony only come from Francis Manley, Reverend Francis Manley, who created this service originally. Blessed be these waters gathered from near and far. Blessed be the hands that gathered these waters and that poured them out. Blessed be the sharing of our lives and our stories that make this community of faith a font of living water for all those who choose to come here. Blessed be those whose lives are touched by these waters, that their thirst may be quenched. Blessed be those whose lives are like flowing springs, who bring refreshment to those who are parched. Blessed be this community of memory and hope, which in its coming together and in its sharing of joy and sorrow, struggle and triumph, blesses all who come here and make these waters holy. Blessed be, and amen. And I'm aware that we are running a little long, and that's okay, because we have new members to welcome.
Now's the time when we celebrate new people joining. If I could have our joiners come to the front, Alyssa and Anita and Allie and Jill and Miguel, and I don't see Dante. I don't think Dante made it. He may have had transportation issues. But it is my pleasure to welcome each of you to our fellowship. Today marks the beginning of a new chapter, not just for you as new members, but for all of us as we continue to grow and learn together. In this space, we embrace a rich tapestry of beliefs and experiences. Here, we honor the diversity of thought and celebrate the shared values that unite us: compassion, justice, and a commitment to personal and collective growth. As you join us, know that you are now part of a community where every voice is valued and every journey is respected. We encourage you to explore, to ask questions, and engage in the many opportunities for connection and service that we offer. Your presence adds a new dimension to our community, and we are excited to learn from you and with you. We hope that you find inspiration, support, and friendship here, and that together we can continue to build a more loving and just world. Welcome to our community. We're truly glad you're here. So, new members, I'll ask you some questions, and then we'll see if you say we will or not. Will you accept our gifts of fellowship, discovery, and service? Will you offer us your unique presence and gifts? Will you add your name to the long history of Unitarian Universalist women and men who spread hope with our living faith? And will you engage with us as we seek to create a community and a world dedicated to love and justice? And you, congregation, will you welcome these new members with the warmth and comfort of your fellowship? Will you seek to add your strengths and talents to the new gifts they bring to us? Will you share our triumphs and our struggles as our community grows and changes? We will. Let us recite and affirm our covenant once more. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its gift. This is our great covenant to dwell together in peace, to seek truth and love, and to help one another. And I just have some little gifts for you. We should get a group picture, yes. Who's doing group pictures? Anita, we can't see you. Anita, can you come right here? And Del, you take your thumb right. Yes, there we go. So in case you haven't met everybody, this is Jill Carville. Oh, and by the way, outside here, Paula has made some beautiful name tag holders. Pick which one you like. And, oh, you all know Alyssa, and you all know Miguel, and Allie, and Anita, which you made. She doesn't get to come very often, but so we're so glad she got here today. Thank you, ladies and I think it's time for Lori to speak to us about what we're doing next. Oh, I'm just sorry. Don't mean to rush you through.
Also, I don't really fault Margie for being excited. Like the smell of the food has been coming in. I'm like, I'm ready to eat too. No, it's okay. At this time, please say the words with me as we extinguish our chalice. Until we are together again. And I had closing words somewhere. Give me just a second. Okay, here we are. Sorry about that. These words are for, oh, sorry. Closing music. We have hymn 1064, Blue Boat Home.
Let's stand up and do it. We get a lot of air to sing with. mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean. Still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now. Never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my new boat home. And my sail and moon my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, reading over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. Wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
That is such a beautiful song. Closing words today are from Reverend Dr. Howard Thurman, The Moments of My High Resolve. So, keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve, that in fair weather or in foul, in good times or in tempests, I may not forget that to which my life is committed. Keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve. May we find renewal in the path forward as we contemplate these words and celebrate this time that we've had together. Thank you so much. So Alicia Tran will be playing postlude. Postlude is typically meant as a time that we can actually move around and do things as the music is being played, but if we want to respectfully wait, we can do that. I will also say that after the music, Lori will have an announcement to help guide us as to what we're going to do, and we will need as many people as possible to help stack chairs, move them out of the way so we can get the tables ready for potluck. Alicia?
Thank you.